Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Porte ISD, and thank you for being here. It is now 7:01 p.m., Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, and I hereby call this meeting to order. Notice of this meeting was posted in a manner required by law at 5 p.m. Friday, May 9th. The subjects to be discussed and or considered or upon any formal action may be taken have been listed. The Board of Trustees of the LaPorte Independent School District is now convened. Let the record show that Trustee Perez is out of town at a previous commitment. However, all others are in attendance and a quorum is present. As the LaPorte ISD Board of Trustees, every student's success is our number one priority. We are here to set goals, to adopt policy, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and communicate the district's vision and success to the community. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. School board meetings are open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. However, audience participation is limited to the stakeholder presentation portion of the meeting. The board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comment section. These proceedings may be recorded, and I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking. At this time, will you please stand for the presentation of colors led by the LaPorte High School ROTC. On the American flag, we have Cadet Sergeant Jacob Cottrell. Texas flag, Cadet Second Lieutenant Ahina Chesbro. American Rifle Private First Class Emily Maston. And Texas Rifle Cadet Sergeant Michael Lear.
Present. Color.
You'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Order. Color. Color. Hope. Ready. See. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Center. Face. Mark time. March. Forward. March.
At this time, I ask that you please bow your head for tonight's invocation given by Trustee Deanne Thompson.
Lord, as we come before you tonight, we come with grateful hearts. Grateful for our district leaders, teachers, staff, parents, and most especially our students. We are grateful for our supportive community and all that they do. As we approach the end of the school year and all the celebration that involves, may we ever be reminded that it was you who guided us and watched over each one of us. We thank you for that protection. Bless all in attendance tonight and grant our board the wisdom to conduct business of the district with discernment. Let all that is done be to your glory. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. On March 11, 2025, the Board of Trustees declared each unopposed candidate elected in their respective office and canceled the May 3, 2025 general trustee election. A certificate of election shall be issued to each candidate in the same manner as provided for a candidate elected in an election. The re-elected trustees will now sign their officer's statement, which will be retained with the official records of the board. Mr. Kutcher. Ms. Thompson. The trustees will now complete their oath of office, which will be retained in the official records of the board.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of School Board Trustee
of the office of School Board Trustee
for the LaPorte Independent School District
for the LaPorte Independent School District
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States and the State of Texas.
of the United States and of the State of Texas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So we're going to walk around and we're going to have you sign your oaths and your statements.
Looking on Mason's desk.
As they wrap up, we are going to move to item 6, our board recognitions, and tonight's recognitions will be presented by Director of Communications, Mr. Adam Holland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To begin our recognition portion of the meeting, I introduce you to Heritage Elementary 3rd Grade Select Choir under the direction of Miss Jamie Leupold.
Good evening. I'm the music and art teacher at Heritage Elementary. These are select students from our 3rd grade classes, and we're going to be performing a medley of international music. The main title is This is a Song for the Children. This is going to be a different year for us next year with our bilingual students moving over to Rizzuto. So we will miss them dearly, and we're happy to include them in our group tonight. We appreciate all of our families bringing their kids out this evening, even though there's lots of ball games going on right now too. So without further ado, these are our 3rd graders singing This is a Song for the Children. They will be singing, in addition to the English song, Spanish, German, and Russian. And our soloist is Miss Kenley. Down until you need it. Right here, so you're going to move on a little bit so your mom and dad can see you really good. Or mom and dad see you, and you can see me.
Yes.
Good job. That was awesome. That was so good.
That's a lot to remember. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to try to sneak behind.
We're trying to sneak right behind y'all, okay?
We're going to try to sneak behind you, but don't fall off the step. Very impressive. Good job, y'all.
Mom, Dad, y'all good? Great job.
Now's when I usually shift.
Are we staying down here or just staying east?
Don't do it.
So this is your second term or third term? Third term. Second and a half.
Ladies and gentlemen, LaPorte High School senior Arissa Rodriguez and junior Ulysses Feliz kept LaPorte High School's statewide reputation as a track and field powerhouse well intact recently, as both student athletes finished in the top 10 in the 300-meter hurdles. Okay. All right. LaPorte High School senior Arissa Rodriguez and junior Ulysses Feliz kept LaPorte High School's statewide reputation as a track and field powerhouse well intact recently, as both student athletes finished in the top 10 in the 300-meter hurdles. Arissa, who is no stranger to state meets, by the way, will soon take her talents to Lamar University. Ulysses will be a senior at LaPorte High School next school year, and we have no doubt that we'll be honoring him again in 2026. Congratulations to both of you.
Congratulations. Get some coaches. Yeah, coaches, come on. I'll look right past.
Here comes President. We look right past you, you said.
Congratulations.
Ashley Campbell, a second grade teacher at Jenny Reed Elementary School, has been honored as the 2025 Rookie Teacher of the Year. This prestigious award recognizes first-year educators who demonstrate exceptional dedication, leadership, and impact in the classroom. Campbell began in LaPorte ISD at Lomax Elementary School as a special education paraprofessional back in 2021. She joined Jenny Reed Elementary at the midpoint of this past school year as a classroom teacher. Congratulations again.
Yes, let's get our principal up here.
She's coming, just in person.
Each year around February and March, staff members at LaPorte ISD campuses select their Teacher of the Year. Honorees are chosen by their peers for their ability as skilled teachers and a love of teaching and learning, among several other characteristics. Introducing our 25-26 Campus Teachers of the Year, we'll begin with elementary, Bayshore Elementary, Taylor Harris Guerrero. College Park Elementary, Diana Lavin. Heritage Elementary, Amanda Hargrove. Jenny Reed Elementary, Lorena Artiaga. LaPorte Elementary, Rhonda Knighton. Lomax Elementary, Caitlin Bertot. And from Leo A. Rizzuto Elementary, Cheryl Prantle. Congratulations.
Here you go. You want to put me in the center?
Congratulations. Now introducing our secondary campus Teachers of the Year for 25-26, James H. Baker 6th grade campus, Christina Hoffman. LaPorte Junior High, Nicole Hamilton. Lomax Junior High, Jessica Woolard. LaPorte High School Core, Beck Neal. LaPorte High School Non-Core, Adrian Wiltz. The Academy of Viola DeWalt High School, Blas Estrada. And I believe Mr. Estrada is at a child's baseball game or something. He did tell me that. Secondary DAEP, Wayne Drastada. We will recognize all of these folks again later this week on Thursday. It is our service awards, and at the service awards, that's when we announce the district teachers of the year. Congratulations to all of you. And now I would like to introduce you to Angie Viator, our Executive Director of Teaching, Learning, and Leadership, who will additionally recognize some staff members.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. I just wanted to say we're very excited to introduce our aspiring leaders to our Board of Trustees and our community. The goal of our Aspiring Leadership Academy is to inspire, support, and grow our future campus and district leaders. Our year-long program provides opportunities for our aspiring leaders to collaborate together, gain insight from other leaders around our district, and other leaders in the field. Whether our aspiring leaders want to grow in their current roles or have aspirations to pursue campus and district leadership, we are very proud to provide this program that supports our district goal to develop leaders, giving our aspiring leaders opportunities to learn from one another. So we are very proud to say that this is our 4th aspiring leadership cohort, and they work together to inspire and motivate us as well as each other. We do have approximately 20 former aspiring leaders who have taken on new leadership roles in our district from just the various respective cohorts. And we are very, very proud of this group, and we look forward to them having opportunities here in the district with us. All right, so I want to just have a warm welcome for our aspiring leaders. If you'll come up to be recognized, please, Christina Davidson. Congratulations. Yes, absolutely. Cassidy Dill was not able to join us, though she is at a baseball game. Oh, Cassidy, you made it. Okay, come on up, Cassidy Dill. So glad she made it. We have Courtney Flores. We have Jessica Gunn. Congratulations, Jessica. Okay, and we have Dawnette Harris. Savannah Keeler. Mr. Douglas Clout. He was not able to be with us tonight. We have Natalie Melton. Kelly Mules. Beck Neal. He's here for 2 recognitions. So proud of them. Elizabeth Owens. Dylan Rochelle. Jairus Roman. And Haley Stone. I just want to say congratulations to our aspiring leaders. They've worked very hard. Some of them have family members out here. Wave if you're a family member of an aspiring leader. Yay. Thank y'all for joining us.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Now, I would like to introduce you to Ms. Terry Cook, the coordinator for our district's Partners in Education program.
This evening in our community recognitions, we are excited to recognize the winners of the Sylvan Beach Festival Parade this year. The annual festival is a project of the LaPorte Bayshore Chamber of Commerce with support from many other area businesses and organizations, and it was held on Saturday, April 26th, with the following floats earning top honors. The first award is for Judge's overall favorite. It goes to Templo Bautista de Habla España.
Come on. Great job.
The most original entry went to Whimsy Home Decor. Tanya Wilson. Best themed entry went to Jenny Reed Elementary School. And best showmanship went to Lomax Elementary School. Congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you for your participation in the Silver Beach Festival Parade. That's the funniest part. It's like nobody's left. Dr. Jackson. All the coaches have to stay. I imagine they'll introduce something and say. I'm like, we lost somebody.
All right, exciting stuff. We'll move on to item 7, public comment. The board will now hear those who wish to make comments and who have completed and returned the public comment participation request. This section will be conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act and board policy. As such, this is a reminder that board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comment section. Complaints and/or concerns for which other resolution channels are provided shall be directed through those channels. Vice President Martin, do we have any registered speakers?
Mr. President, we do not have any registered speakers.
All right, please note for the record, we do not have any registered speakers, so we'll move on to our action items 8. Dr. Jackson?
Thank you, Mr. President. Under the superintendent's report and legislative update, you have a copy of the board's report and update, and I will just use this time to introduce 2 new hires to the district. Board, I'm pleased to introduce to you Ms. Alicia Perales. Alicia has been selected to serve as the new principal at Lomax Elementary. Let's give her a hand. Keep standing, Alicia. Alicia is a longtime employee and a leader in LaPorte ISD, and Alicia has 14 years experience in public education. She has served on the Lomax Elementary campus for the past 13 years as a 4th grade student teacher, 4th grade math teacher, math and reading interventionist, and she is currently the assistant principal at Lomax before accepting the principal role. Before working in LaPorte, Alicia taught in Pasadena ISD for a year. She brings to the principal role a wealth of knowledge about Lomax Elementary and its culture, its students, and its staff that honestly very few share. She has worked under and learned from the leadership of some of LaPorte's finest principals, Dr. Alicia Upchurch, Patty Herrera Johnson, Tracy Greenwood, and Diane Wheaton. We are excited and confident that Alicia will continue to move Lomax Elementary in a positive direction. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming to the principalship Miss Alicia Perales. Would you like to introduce anybody, or would you like to have any words? They're all at baseball games.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'm equally excited and happy to introduce to the board and the community Dr. Amanda Smith. It's an honor to introduce Amanda. All right, give her a hand. It's an honor to introduce Dr. Amanda Smith as the new Director of Research, Accountability, and Federal Programs for LaPorte ISD. Dr. Smith brings over 20 years of experience in public education with a strong record of instructional leadership, program development, and student-centered service. She began her career as a middle school science teacher in Pearland ISD, where she quickly took on leadership roles including department chair, campus mentor, and district curriculum writer. Her passion for supporting both students and teachers led her into administration, beginning with Pearland ISD's Aspiring Administrator Academy. In 2016, Dr. Smith joined Alvin ISD, where she advanced through a series of leadership positions, from Advanced Academics Specialist to Director of Advanced Academics. In this role, she led the design and implementation of district-wide programs for gifted education, STEM academies, and advanced placement, while also managing assessment systems, budgets, and a team of over 30 instructional specialists. Dr. Smith holds a bachelor's degree in middle childhood education and general studies from the University of Toledo, a master's degree in teacher leadership and principal certification from Lamar University, and a doctorate in educational leadership from the University of Houston Clear Lake, where she received the Sandra Mossman Outstanding Dissertation Award. Congratulations. She currently serves as an adjunct professor in UHCL's doctoral program and is active in state-level gifted education leadership through the Texas Association for the Gifted and Talented. In 2024, Dr. Smith was named the TAGT Administrator of the Year for the state of Texas. I think that deserves a hand clap. With a strong foundation in curriculum, data-driven planning, and equitable access to academic opportunities, Dr. Smith is well positioned to lead LaPorte ISD's accountability and federal programs with excellence. Please join me one more time in welcoming Dr. Amanda Smith. Amanda, did you bring a guest?
I did. I have with me my husband, Jeffrey, my son, James, who's in college at Texas State, and my aunt, Connie Hill, who actually used to work for Porte ISD and is a resident of Short Acres.
All right, all right. Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
That will conclude the superintendent's remarks, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. We will now move on to item 8B, the HCA Healthcare Clinic presentation.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Stand, because I
Right here.
have been taught to not put my back to people, but
You're right where you need to be.
and it projected itself. Yes. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Yasmin McDaniel, and I'm the CEO of HCA Houston Healthcare Southeast, that is in Pasadena. And I have with me this evening Wumi Okwalan, who is our Director of Physician Services. And I'm here today to speak with you about the employee wellness option that we offer within our healthcare system. So within HCA, we are a healthcare mission-driven organization. So we do start every meeting and every conversation that we have with our mission statement, as well as a connect to purpose. The reason we do this is because we do very serious work. We do very important work. When our community needs us the most, that's where we are. And so we start every conversation with that to kind of center everyone as to why we do what we do. So our mission statement is printed in all of the different areas. So if you don't mind joining me in stating that, above all else, we are committed to the care and improvement of human life. So we're going to consider that a practice, since not everybody got there.
All right.
So if everyone will join me with that. Above all else, we are committed to the care and improvement of human life. All right. So the connected purpose that I'd like to share with you today is about our CV program, our cardiovascular program. We have a cardiovascular surgeon there, Dr. Moinadine, and he had a patient that he'd been seeing. Ultimately, was going to have to take him to surgery and really let him know that his life before he came to the hospital may not be the same when he leaves. Up until that point, the patient had been optimistic and was ready to overcome this challenge. But on this day when he came to visit him, he seemed a little bit sad and really wasn't into it, right? And so Dr. Moinadine just sat down and a human to connect with him and said, what's wrong? And he's like, honestly, Doc, I just want a donut. I've been here for about 4 or 5 days. I'm on the diet. I know what I need to do, but I just need a donut. And so Dr. Moinadine, in true CV surgeon fashion, called somebody else and had everyone begin searching for a donut. And so we found different donuts in a variety of different places and presented them there to his patient and gave him a small piece of it, right? At that point in time, he completely changed his outlook. The reason I bring this story not only to you guys, but to all of the different forums that we meet within the hospital walls, is because we understand we're taking care of people, right? And going to a hospital or having any sort of health condition is a disruption in your normal life, and you don't feel human. Healthcare is the only industry where I say, hi, my name is Yasmin. Will you please take off your clothes? No one else gets to do that, but we do. So within that aspect, we need to remember at the end of the day, we are taking care of a human. And Dr. Moinadine offered this patient the opportunity to just have a little bit of comfort and to feel like a human. And let's face it, every now and then, you just need a donut. So wanted to share this story with you all as a connected purpose as to why we do what we do every day. So, looking at our hospital and getting down to business, I know you guys may or may not be familiar with the HCA name. Many of you, even as I was sitting in the audience preparing to listen to the meeting, was sitting next to someone and said, hey, my name's Yasmin because I'm a talker. And he said, yeah, I've been to Bayshore before. And I'm like, okay, yeah. But we're Bayshore, but we're also HCA Healthcare. And so HCA Healthcare is the largest healthcare enterprise in the entire world. So globally, we are the largest healthcare enterprise. So behind what is formerly known as Bayshore, you have literally the power of the HCA enterprise. We have over 180 hospitals across the entire world, including in London and the UK. We employ hundreds of thousands of physicians. We have partnerships within the supply chain so that we are able to get equipment when most can't. During COVID, our president and CEO was actually the person that was working with the federal organization in order to get those life savings equipment because we have such a strong supply chain. So really we have best practices that are proven across the country. Zooming down to our hospital there in Pasadena, last year we saw over 175,000 patient encounters, delivered over 2,500 babies for this community, and then when the community really did need us the most, we provided over 100,000 emergency care visits. Right? So we have been here for over 63 years. We have accredited programs. We're a level 3 trauma center, a level 3 NICU designation. We have a level 3 maternal designation. We're a primary stroke center, and the list goes on and on. And the reason I bring those up is because these aren't things that I just get to say because they're things to say. These are processes that we've gone in. We've had third parties come in and measure our quality outcomes across all other hospitals in the country and therefore earn these accreditations to say that we not only provide excellent care, we have the outcomes that prove that. So moving to that, this is my brag slide. I bring this out because this is a lot of great things to be proud of at the hospital and to have right here in the community. There's lots of different things, but I'd really like to just point your eyes to that column right there in the middle of the page. Those four, oh my gosh, my fourth grade geometry teacher would be so just like
rectangles.
Just crazy, like what shape is that? A hexagon? Right? 6 hexagon? The blue hexagon right there and then go straight down. Makes it even worse than my mom's a teacher. So then beyond that, you'll see the number one is America's 250 best hospitals. We've won that award for the past 2 years in a row. Not every hospital gets to say that. Actually, less than 5% of the hospitals in the entire country get to say that. And now we get to say that for 2 years in a row. In addition to that, we have won the Patient Safety and Excellence Award for the past 4 years, surgical care and critical care excellence for the past 2 years, and then this year we won the award for gastrointestinal surgery. And then you'll see a variety of other boards across the country. So literally right here in your backyard, you have award-winning, nationally recognized hospital and healthcare services. So as that relates to this organization and bringing here, within that network we have a strategy and a framework. And that really is to make sure that our communities are healthy. Obviously we have our ERs, we have our main ER at the hospital, and then we have 2 others, one over off of Fairmont and then one at Beltway 8 in Wallaceville, and we will want to be there when you need us. But beyond that, we want to make sure that our community is healthy. And so really investing into those wellness programs, when people need that health, when they need health checkups, when they're just not understanding what is going on. And so that is the framework from which we come at. With that, we collaborate with those health services across our vast network. Obviously, we have the main acute care hospital, which I've been speaking to you about. We also have a post-acute hospital that's dedicated to rehabilitative services that's at the Beltway 8 in Crenshaw with our HCA Houston Healthcare Rehab Hospital, where we have an inpatient rehab unit as well as a skilled nursing unit. In addition to that, we have Solis mammography sites, one there in Pasadena, one that's coming in Deer Park, and then another that's coming later on this year in Mount Bellevue. We have our Care Now network, as well as a variety of specialty clinics. So that means if you come into one of our wellness clinics and it's determined you need a cardiology visit or a GI visit or a whatever other specialty visit, within our network we can help you quickly get to the specialist that you need, which now is not always as easy as it should be. But we have the ability to do that. We also have a transfer center that can then transfer you to a higher level of care if necessary and needed, right? But keeping healthcare local as often as we can. So with looking at that, again, how it relates to keeping your workforce healthy, overall it decreased healthcare costs, right? We can catch it early. Early detection is key in a variety of healthcare arenas, and so keeping it early, which then keeps the cost down. What that means to you and I is if I go to my primary care office, I pay $20 for a copay, right? Right. If I go to a Care Now facility or an urgent care, I may pay $50. If I go to an ER, I may pay $250. Right? So if you can get it early with your primary care with a wellness center, then we can help move you through the continuum, cutting down costs for the individual as well as for the organization that is supporting that individual. Also, it decreases workers' compensation. If I can catch that I have back pain now, then six months from now, when I'm picking up something that I probably may have stopped myself, but I feel that like I'm Wonder Woman, so I can do all things, then maybe that will help prevent that. It decreases employee absenteeism. We've seen that time and time again. We currently have wellness clinics with Pasadena ISD that's been there for many, many years, and then one most recently with Goose Creek ISD. What that means is if I'm not feeling well, I can go in to this clinic that is located somewhere within my campus, be seen, and then go over to where I need to go, right? Other than that, I may have to take off the entire day because I have to go to a clinic office, see where it is, sit there, and do those things. So really that quick turnaround. And then really our goal is to increase your employee satisfaction. It's really important that my organization cares about me as a person, and what better way to say that you care about me as a person than to take a moment to care about my health care and then create an access for me to take care of myself in a manner that many people don't always take the time to take care of themselves. So this is just a sample of a wellness clinic model and what we have there. A space that is identified by partnership between the organization, so in this case LaPorte ISD, and our organization will identify a clinic space, typically 2 to 3 exam rooms, to where we can handle any of those basic primary care needs right there with them on campus or in a convenient location for most of the staff. In addition to that, we offer really episodic things. So if there is an acute incident, there is a healthcare professional on site that can provide that for you. If there's any sort of point of care testing like flu, strep, COVID that's needed, we're able to do that. Because of our organization and the breadth that we have, there is an ability to keep some of those healthcare costs down, as well as we can provide to this board a monthly package to say, hey, maybe this is something you should consider for the overall health of your your employee population in that. So with that, these are just some of the things. We have telehealth, so people can call in. We have clinic metrics that we'll be able to provide, including the demographics and even the referrals. The reason I zoom in on the referrals is because if we are sending a variety of people from your organization to cardiology, for instance, right? So then when it comes time for February, we have physicians that work with us that can come in and do some education regarding cardiac health, when to detect it, early detection, because when you're having a heart attack, very rarely does it present as an opportunity where I need to grab my chest. It can present as back pain, as shoulder pain, as something else, but to really be able to provide that ongoing education so that people are aware of their bodies. We only get one, and so we want to be able to make sure that we're taking care of it well. With that, these are just a couple of the quotes from some of the people that we already work with. Again, we have a long-standing clinic with Pasadena ISD, as well as most recently, we've opened a center with our Goose Creek ISD partners, offering them same or similar services. Our primary contacts for this, I believe you all already know, Lindsay Swanigan, who is our VP of Outpatient Services, and then we have Linda Tiarina, who is our Employer Relations Specialist. So that is my high-level overview. I am happy to field any questions if you would allow for, President. Yes, sir.
I will say that I have the pleasure of serving on Yasmin's board, and I sit there. We have a trustee from Pasadena who's been a trustee for a long time, and I've heard all the great things that are happening in Pasadena. She said it's been a phenomenal blessing to Pasadena Independent School District have this wellness program for their employees. Not only that, it has cut their costs, and you'll have to explain how that works, but when I hear it cut their costs, and so from my perspective, this is like makes my heart happy because with rising costs of everything, we're always looking at ways to get additional benefits that aren't going to cost the district an arm and a leg. They can help the whole district. And so I begged and pleaded with Yasmin. I thought it'd be a difficult sell. I was like, man, what do we got to do to bring this to LaPorte? She said, well, set a meeting. And so Dr. Jackson, thank you, sir. He set a meeting with Lindsay and Linda. And he walked out of that meeting and said, we got a spot for them. And so Yasmin's like, pump your brakes a little bit. We got to slow down. But we are.
They left the meeting and followed me to the spot. Yeah. I wanted to show them.
So we're excited. We have, I believe Dr. Jackson invited our city manager, Cordy Alexander, in the back of the room, and Mayor Rick Helton. Well, I think our hope is that we can utilize this service for our employees and our families, but also possibly our city staff, right? So I'm very excited that you guys are presenting this to us, and I hope, praying that we can figure out how to make this work, because I think it'd be a great service to our people. For sure.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Jeff Martin's efforts on this. This has been a crusade for him for sure, and we've got to get creative in this economic climate. You know, you've got to find ways to take care of your staff, and this has been a thing that he really has been working. Obviously, y'all have a good relationship, and the presentation is fantastic, and I hope we can work on these details, because this is definitely something, a point of difference between us and some of our competitors. So
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
This may be too detailed. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding. Say we have an employee who is actually covered by her husband's insurance, not through TRS. Does that matter as long as him or her is an employee of our district?
So that really depends upon how we structure the contract.
Right.
Okay.
From the basis of it, sure, we can see them. We're there to take care of everybody. Right? But depending upon how we structure it, it will go directly for employees only or employees that are covered by others. So it really is, at this point in phase, it's what makes the most sense for your organization.
Okay. And follow up to that, just say someone comes in for a blood draw or they've got strep or whatever, are they just paying a copay at that point? Or are we filing their insurance? Or, I mean, how does that work?
So, and I'll let Wumi go into the details of this.
Okay.
But again, it really depends on how we structure the contract. In most cases, it just makes the most sense for us to file the insurance, and then collect the copay as normal clinic that's just here on site. In most cases, that's what makes the most sense.
So just like a primary care copay.
Right. In most cases, that is what makes the most sense. You're obviously funding an insurance company for your colleagues and staff. So you want to be able to utilize what you're already paying for.
Yes.
However, if that's not the route that you would want to do, there are different mechanisms which are a little bit more challenging to where we can keep track of those and then bill directly or come up with some sort of capitated basis. But in most cases, most direct pathway would be just to utilize their insurance.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. I think it's, a plus for our staff and their families to be able to have access that would be closer for them. And, they could come before school, after school, on their lunch break or whatever. Their conference period or whatever. And, we're always looking for ways to incentivize being a bulldog. So I like the idea of this a lot.
Heck, I would even go to the doctor if it was right here, if I didn't have to drive somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Lindsay, when she presented to us, she also said it is a possibility to set it up in such a way that the employees don't pay anything, right, on the deductible, right? So again, I know we have to work all that logistics out, but again, hopefully we can figure out a way to make that happen, because that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, through the contractor, how we set it up, there'll be a management fee, which is the flat rate. So we'll be able to service your employees, your teachers, however, and just pass it through that way. And one of the benefits, because we are HCA, we get special pricing, with vendors, because we're such a large organization. And so through Quest, McKesson, LabCorp, you guys are able to benefit from those discounts that we get.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Board, any other questions?
Board?
No, the comment that I have is personally with all my healthcare and with my families, I try to have it in one location, in one place, and just having the ease of that just makes it easier for me as a parent and an employer and a busy mom to be able to do that. So I just think that it does have the potential to benefit our staff tremendously, and so I'm very, very interested to see what we can do.
Okay, I have one more question. On an average day, there's probably not an average day in healthcare, right? But on an average day for one of your other districts, what's the number of people that you see? Say you said Pasadena is part of it?
On an average day, 20, 25, depending if it's a nurse practitioner, if it's an MD, we could see up to 35 patients. Really just, depending on the season. If it's flu season, it's going to be that high volume time.
Sure.
If it's a slow season, then, adjust that way.
Okay.
And I think most people think, okay, these are your teachers, your paraprofessionals, but there's also the portion that goes along with your bus drivers and other
absolutely.
All staff.
Our maintenance, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, and we certainly would like to have a discussion, certainly with you after this meeting, and we'll do that, but with possibly the city, and see if the city would may want to partner with us. And, it doesn't have to happen like that, but the more the merrier, I would think, because it would just keep the facility busy. So, thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Good job.
I wasn't blowing smoke. I really mean that emphatically. Jeff has really made a point and educates the board on a pretty regular basis. And obviously he's got a strong network, and we heard about this prior to this presentation, and it's really exciting, and I think it's going to be a huge point of difference. So kudos to you.
I appreciate you saying that, but really it's Dr. Jackson and the team and you guys, because again, we bring up all kinds of stuff, right? Not all of them are great ideas.
Lord, yes.
Yeah. So, but this one day we're open.
This is a great idea, a great opportunity.
Great partnership for
Great
sure.
opportunity for us.
All right, board, we're going to move on to item 8C, our athletic department update.
I don't think it went over badly at all.
Howdy, ma'am.
Howdy. All right, am I rolling? Okay. Good evening, President Hanks and Board of Trustees and Dr. Jackson. I first want to thank all of y'all for your continued support this school year. We had another great year for LaPorte Athletics. We had some extended playoff runs. We had state and regional qualifiers individually and as a team, and you guys were there rooting us on the whole time. So I really appreciate that, and just know that your support and your investment, it really makes a big difference in our student athletes and our coaches, so thank you all for that. Tonight I'm proud to share some of those accomplishments from this past season, and really to reflect on the hard work of our student athletes and our coaches, many of whom are here tonight. So I want to go ahead and recognize any coaches that are here. You can wave, stand up, but I truly believe that they're some of the best in the business, and really the work put in by our student athletes and our coaches this year, it really represents LaPorte ISD well. So I'm really proud again tonight to talk about some of those accomplishments and what you guys can expect from us next school year. All right, athletics by the numbers. So this year we had 1,189 student athletes, both at the high school and at the junior high. 715 at the high school and 474 at the junior high. It's about a 70 athlete increase from last year. In terms of number of competitions, we had an uptick in that also because of our postseason success with a lot of our programs. So 1,359 competitions this year in LaPorte Athletics. So we were busy. Yep. I want to recognize our district championships. We had 3 team district championships this year in both 11-5A and 25A, because we do compete in 2 different districts for football and our other sports. For football, back-to-back district champs. This year we finished undefeated in district play, and we went 4 rounds deep, so that was exciting. Next, recognizing our Lady Dog basketball program, district champs. We went 3 rounds deep in the playoffs and finished up area champions. And then last but not least, Bulldog baseball. They finished up this past weekend. They were 25A district champs, I think, for the first time since 2018, 19, 6 years, Coach. So kudos to them, and they finished up the season as by-district champions. So super proud of these programs. It was a great year from a team championship standpoint, that's for sure. I next want to recognize our UIL state qualifiers, and we had 5 of them. First up, we have Gianna Palomares. She's a freshman cross-country runner, and she qualified for the cross-country meet this past fall as a freshman, which is pretty impressive. Also, these are 2 familiar faces from earlier this evening. Ulysses Felice, he's a junior. He qualified for the state meet in the 300-meter hurdles, and he finished in 5th place. Arissa Rodriguez, she's a senior. She qualified for the state meet also in the 300-meter hurdles, and she finished in 6th place, and she'll be running at Lamar University next year. So we look forward to watching her there. And then we have our powerlifters. Samantha Gilder, she's a sophomore. She PR'd at the state meet and finished in 15th place. Hannah Stafford, freshman powerlifter, she also PR'd at the state meet and finished in 8th place. And these 2 young ladies represent only the 3rd and 4th state qualifiers ever in that program for LaPorte ISD. So kudos to them and their coaches as well. So moving on to some more detailed accomplishments within our program, honors and recognitions not only for our student athletes but also our coaching staff. At the high school level, 80% of our programs advanced to the postseason, so that's a back-to-backer also. We had the same percentage last year. 3 UIL regional qualifying teams, multiple individual district champions. In track and field and also tennis. And to mention tennis, we had our very first boys single champion in District 25A play in Chris Barragon, and so that was super impressive for him and also his brother, who's our head tennis coach. So pretty cool. We had 14 powerlifting regional qualifiers, 3 district coaches of the year, 7 all-state, and 4 academic all-state football players. TABC, that's Texas Association of Basketball Coaches, all-region basketball selection, 60 academic all-district team members from District 11-5A and also 25A. And last but not least, we had 17 student athletes signed to compete at the next level, with our spring signing taking place last week, where we had 14 student athletes sign, and it was a diverse group. We had 2 dancers, we had a cheerleader and a bowler, not to mention our football players, track and field athletes, and softball players, and 1 basketball player. So that's always a fun time for us, especially in the spring. It's quite the scene to see them all lined up, and it's always great to hear their coaches say great things about them. So congrats to those student athlete signees. Our junior high, equally successful. Our junior high coaches and programs do a great job getting those students ready for the next level as a feeder program. This year we had 8 Bay Area League tournament qualifying teams. We had 1 Bay Area League championship in our Lomax 7A football team. And we had 4 Bay Area League individual track and field champions. So congrats to them. They do a great job for us. That's an important aspect of our athletic program is that feeder system. What's new for 25-26? It's the obvious. Bulldog Stadium and our Legacy Complex. So, we talked about a lot of those accolades and accomplishments in the previous slide, but we got to remember that there was several programs that have been displaced for the last 2 years, and they've never let that be an excuse to not perform at the highest level. Our coaches, working to get them to practices, road warriors, playing every home game, 2 seasons with Coach Bernithi and the football team. So I'm super proud of them and our athletes, and we're going to be really excited to be able to walk out the back door and compete in our own stadium. So looking forward to that, and obviously looking forward to test driving in a little bit tomorrow as well with the spring game. So what can we expect in terms of competitions? What we know, we're going to have 8 varsity home football games in Bulldog Stadium, 10 sub-varsity games, 40 plus sub-varsity and varsity home soccer games in the stadium. Bayshore Olympics will return. We are also going to host the 25A varsity and JV district meets, and as well as the area track meet, which matches up 19-5A and 25A. So we'll be busy in the spring with those track meets. So we're super excited about that, and being able again to be back in Bulldog Stadium. So just want to update the board on some athletic initiatives. That some of these were mentioned in my presentation last year, just to give you an update. And there's some new things that we started this school year that I want to make you guys aware of. Our LP ISD Athletes of the Week. You may have seen them on our social media platforms, Facebook and X or Twitter. We send out questionnaires to coaches every week, and we are able to recognize 2 high school students, 2 Lomax students, and 2 LPJ students every week. So that comes out to about 134 student athletes that we have celebrated this school year, and really sometimes it's performance based, sometimes it's a kid that does really well in a game or hits a game winning shot or whatever, but a lot of times it's just intangible qualities. They show up, they do the workout in the off season, maybe displayed great citizenship in the school, in the hallways, or good sportsmanship on the playing field. So that's been an exciting initiative for us that we started this school year. Next, we have our summer SAC camp expansion. Last year, I presented to the board our foundational camp for 6th graders that we had at the end of the summer. We only had it for a week, and I think we had 25, 30 incoming 6th graders participate. So we decided this year, what the heck, let's expand our summer strength and conditioning to include our incoming 6th graders. You know, we've been working with our Baker PE coaches on foundational athletic movement, so we're opening up a SAC camp this year to any incoming 6th grader to be able to participate. So that's going to be exciting. We anticipate, and I think the last couple of years we've had around 400 student athletes participate in that camp. It's all summer, starting June 9th. So as of right now, I think we almost have close to 300 students signed up. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Next, the LaPorte High School Captains Council spoke on this last year in my presentation, and we were able to get this off the ground. I asked coaches to give us 2 to 3 names of any captain or students that have displayed leadership qualities in their programs. We were able to meet quarterly, so twice a semester this year, and really our focus in those meetings is character, leadership development, working with those kids to learn how to lead their own peers, which that can be a challenge, and also just having confidence in those roles as captains within their program. So, we're going to tweak it a little bit next year, maybe smaller groups, like look at different seasonal, like if football's in season, volleyball's in season, cross country, have them meet, because one thing we did learn is when you have 30 plus students and somebody standing in front, they don't want to talk to each other. So we think a smaller group setting will make that program a lot more effective. So we'll continue to grow that. Last but not least, our athletic recruiting program, our district athletic recruiting coordinator, Coach Whiteley. He's done a really good job of organizing and putting on our district signings that we've had. We have 3 per year. This year we started having recruiting seminars. We had 2 at the high school, 1 in the fall and one in the spring, and we also had a recruiting seminar at Lomax and at LPJ, targeting those 8th graders coming in as 9th graders. We had those in the spring. So really our focus for those seminars is to help parents understand the process, specifically for those incoming 9th graders, let them know that your freshman year matters. Yes, it does. And also to kind of outline parent roles and student roles and what we need from them, if this is something that the road they want to go down, and then obviously NCAA eligibility is a big part of that. So these are all initiatives that we thought were pretty successful this year, and we're looking forward to continue to grow those in the coming year. So with that, if you guys have any questions about anything, I'd be happy to answer them.
I just have to say, I appreciate the camp schedules being out as early.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's been very helpful.
Yeah, we tried to push them out, right.
And staff,
Right.
Because you do have a lot of students who are interested in the programs, and
right.
just making sure that they have that opportunity to see it before everything's worked out for them. So thank you.
Right, you're welcome.
I will say, I think, we've got some brand-new facilities, some sort of brand-new facilities, and you guys are making it all worthwhile. I mean, you're putting in, we're trying to provide you with a great place to play, and y'all are certainly showing that you've earned it and deserved it, so.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'm super excited to hear about the recruiting stuff, because as you know, I worked with a lot of kids over the years trying to help them sign up for recruiting, and the parents don't understand, and the poor kids are trying to figure it out their junior year, and that's just way too late. So I'm super excited to hear that you guys are doing that. So wonderful.
As much as it is about the accolades and stuff, the life lessons that are taught are, you can't put a value on that, and that is why I'm such a big advocate of high school athletics. I know that they are just invaluable. The amount of time and energy that the coaches pour in those kids, a lot of those kids don't have, that type of parental figure in their life, and the coaches become that. And it's evident across all the fields, in the gym, guys, girls, you name it. It has been amazing to watch, and you can tell there's just a shift in the mentality of Bulldog athletics. When you go out there, really representing the high character stuff is really translating, and as a former alumni, I'm super proud to see the progress and stuff that's been taking place across the district, and I really appreciate every coach and all the hours you pour into this. So thank you.
And another little accolade that I talked to you in the Fine Arts about last year, that Lone Star Cup.
Right.
It's an accumulation of all sports, band, one act. It has accumulation of all of that. LaPorte's finished it tied for 36 out of over 220 5A schools. And I'm not sure, Coach Torres, if they messed up on yours yet, but I think y'all won your first series, right? So if they give them those 2 extra points, they're going to be up to tied to 26. And that's up from 54 last year. So as a team in UIL, I know it's just sports. I was going to wait till the Fine Arts, but it includes all of that too.
Yeah, academics, UIL academics, I think.
Yeah, it's everything. So, I mean, it's showing that we are moving up.
Yes, sir.
So, and that's a good thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And now go to item D, our Fine Arts update. Dr. Burke.
Good evening, President Hanks, Dr. Jackson, ladies and gentlemen of the board. This is absolutely my favorite meeting of the year, as I get to brag on our programs and talk to you about all the great things going on. On a personal note, though, if I could take just a quick liberty, I do want to personally welcome Dr. Amanda Smith. She was actually one of the individuals on my committee for my doctorate, and she actually put the hood on me at graduation, so I just wanted to recognize her. So, LPISD, Performing Visual Arts. And I do want to echo Coach Thompson's sincere thoughts on your support for us and everything that we do. We cannot do this without you, and our kids cannot do this without you. So absolutely, thank you very much. So our enrollment by the numbers. Our art program from 6 through 12 is 944. Our band number, 628. This is grades 6 through 12. Theater, 496. Orchestra, 433. Our choir program's at 403. And our dance is at 151. 72% of LPISD secondary students are currently enrolled in a performing in visual art. From Baker, LaPorte Junior, Lomax Junior, and through the high school. 100% of our elementary students are enrolled in music while still receiving rotation of art per week. And this year, as we spoke about last year looking forward, we were able to add 2 sections of junior high dance, one at each campus, and it's turned out to be just an absolute busting success. We're really proud of those programs. Yes. Cannot go without talking about our elementary music programs. I like to brag on these teachers the most because it all starts right there. And if you ever have a day that you're just feeling down about life, walk into an elementary music. I saw our heritage performers tonight, And our teachers just do such amazing things. We use online curriculum such as Music Play, our Quaver's Wonderful World of Music. We do innovative, and you've seen it through this year with our students playing the ukuleles, our percussion groups, as well as our choral group. And I'm going to speak to our 5th grade honor choir in a moment. So, this is just I could stay here all night if we did the full list, but this is just the snapshot of as much as I could fit in with the limited amount of time that we had. Our UIL marching band was a region marching sweepstakes award winner. They moved on to the area marching finalist position where they took 12th overall. So I was really proud of that event. At the U.S. Bands and Channelview Invitationals, they came in top 5 of the finalist category. Our LPHS indoor drumline and winter guard took second place in the Texas Color Guard circuit and 5th place respectively. Drumline, then the color guard. Between our choirs, orchestras, and bands at our junior highs and high schools, we collected 14 UIL concert and sight reading evaluation sweepstakes and or Division I awards. We had, and from our junior highs up in all 3 divisions, 36 TMEA, Texas Music Educator Association, region students. At our high school, we had 6 TMEA area qualifying participants. And our 3 all-state band students at the TMEA level, Santiago Ballesteros, Evan Halvadier, Richard Ortegon. And I think it's important to note that Santiago came in 5th in the state overall of all 5A percussionists. So that was a real great accomplishment. We also had a lot of new things this year. For this year, the Chatos, our dance team, participated in the Texas Dance Educator Association Dance Team Evaluation Pilot Program for the first, and this is the first time it ever happened across the state of Texas. So they received a superior rating, an excellent rating, and it was just cold and miserable that day, and the girls just did outstanding at Clear Creek ISD. Chatos, they came in 22 total team and individual dance awards through their season. They received the best in class, 3 grand champions in their class, 6 first place runner-ups in their class. Haley Hanks was our all-state dance participant for the TDEA convention. Our high school musical, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, involved over 200 students and volunteers, not just fine art students. Over 200 total. Our LPHS theater department during the UIL one act play was District 5A champion, and they advanced to the by district level. From that production, 8 student awards were handed out for All-Star Standout Students, Honorable Mention, and Outstanding Technician Award. From this program, 14 new students will be inducted into the International Thespian Society. Moving on to our art program, 30 LPISD, elementary, junior high, and high school students advanced as finalists to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Art Competition at NRG Arena. 31 LPHS art students will going to be displayed this year in the biannual publication of the Anthology of Art, which we will hopefully get a copy of at some point. When we do, I'll put it on display for us. This year, we had honor choir last year, but it was kind of a tag-along. We were piloting it, seeing how it went. This year was the first year we actually had a standalone 4th and 5th grade LPISD elementary choir, and they did their first concert 2 weeks ago, and if you were able to go to it, was absolutely outstanding. They spent the entire day with a clinician who is first time these kids ever sang together, and they just did an amazing job. They got to the high school at 9 o'clock, and their concert was at 6 o'clock. So it was a long day. We fed them pizza. They had a blast. But I just think it was the team, and I want to speak to them for just a quick, brief moment. If you ever had to wrangle 4th and 5th graders in a theater the entire day and keep them entertained the entire day, they did yeoman's work. So it was absolutely incredible. So those are just some of our awards and accomplishments. Again, I could go on for 6 more slides, but I wanted to hit most of our highlights. When we talk about our performances, we're always talking about UIL, we're talking about Christmas, we're talking about things that are happening on our campuses. But I think one of the most important parts of these programs are our students are ambassadors of our school district and our community. So I think it's really important to highlight the times that they go out in the community and represent what we are. You turn on the TV now and it's, oh, this high school did this and this high school did that and this, and it's hard sometimes with the negative. These are the positives. These are the great things that our students did. And I just want to highlight a few. Of course, our Christmas on Main. We might as well just call it Porte ISD on Main.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is every year. And it's just, that's an incredible event. Sylvan Beach Parade. We had our orchestras participate in the Moody Gardens Festival of Lights, where they got to go down, and they were the entertainment for everybody walking through on those cold winter nights. So that was a real fun thing for them to get to do. We played for the opening of the Houston Yacht Club. Our orchestra does that every year, first Sunday or a Sunday in the fall. We played for the City of LaPorte State of the City address. We played for the LaPorte Rotary Club. We opened Pinch a Penny Supplies grand opening up on Spencer Highway. Drumline participated in that. Heritage Elementary got to participate as ambassadors from this district to go to and experience NASA. Our choir from there went down, got to spend a good portion of their day with the NASA program, and then they got, well, not the same day, but they did get to perform with the Houston Astros singing the national anthem. Our Baker Band got to participate in Gator Fest. And if you've never heard of Gator Fest, it's a junior high competition where 7th and 8th grade bands go in, and it's pretty much evaluated like UIL or any other festival. We took all of our 6th graders down there, and Miss Skaggs, they got how many?
I'm sorry?
How many ones did they get?
Oh, sweepstakes.
Sweepstakes for our 6th graders. So that, and you have to understand, Baker's day musically is trumpets in this class, clarinets in this class, percussion in this class. So the only time that they get to play together is when we can have an after-school rehearsal. So when they got to play an after-school rehearsal and then went to compete, that was sometimes the only time those band students actually got to meet each other. So it was a great day, and they really enjoyed it. And Lomax Junior High Choir got to sing at the Houston SaberCats rugby game. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even know we had a SaberCats rugby, but we do. That's awesome. So those are some of our performances that are kind of off the radar, but those are the performances that I think that's what the kids get really excited about. It's something different. They're not just playing for what I call 3 lampposts in an auditorium or 3 judges when they're dancing or anything else. They get to actually see their audience, and they got to play some really cool things. So our upcoming performances, just some snapshots. Of course, we're going to be tomorrow at the Orange and White game. Our Chatos and our band. We got to see them and put them up in the stands in the last week to see where everything is going to be fitted. And we think we've worked out all the kinks, but the travel time between getting up from the upstairs to the downstairs, and we're gonna get that down before the fall happens. Our LPISD orchestras, Baker through the high school, are combining to go June 1st to the Houston Astros to play the national anthem. So there'll be a sea of fiddles out in center field, which is going to be a really cool event. The week after that, or week and a half after that, Lomax Elementary will be going to perform. The Astros really like us. I'm starting to sense that they really like our programs. On the 16th through the 19th, we will be having our annual elementary fine arts camp at Heritage, and we are still taking registration for that. Anyone that's online, please punch in. Okay? And this isn't an upcoming performance, but it's pretty exciting. We're starting the process of designing and getting in the chamber our new band and Chato uniforms. So that's coming up this fall. So hopefully delivery probably in the spring, but its process is through. So that's it from our end. I do want to recognize, and I do have one other comment. On Monday morning, and this came out after I put the presentation together, we were awarded Monday morning, just got notification that we are, for the 5th time, one of the best communities in music education, awarded by the National Association of Music Merchants. So, really excited about that. Just notified about that on Monday. And I do want to recognize the folks that do make this all happen. We have Jason Harvey from the high school, band Wilmar Mejos from the high school. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if you would stand up, please. Mark Fennell, our high school band director. From LaPorte Junior High, Mr. Donald McCandless. From Lomax Junior High, Mr. Kevin Poe. From Baker, we have Karen Skaggs, Jonathan Williams, their band program. From Lomax Junior High, Miss Morgan Hansen, our choir director, and she also is one of the choir directors at Baker. Connor McCowan from LaPorte Junior and the other choir director at Baker. We have Miss Christina Hoffman, our Baker Teacher of the Year, orchestra at Baker. From our elementaries, we have Miss Shelby Zika from Lomax Elementary, Miss Jamie Leupold from Heritage Elementary, and we have Miss Mona Gibbs from Rizzuto Elementary. So if we can give all those folks. This gentleman has been here for just about every meeting, and he's there at every single game. I think he represents some of our parents the best, and it's Mr. Roger Allen from the LaPorte High School Band. Thank you, sir, for everything you do. You're awesome. Hoping to have more folks here tonight, but tonight is a orchestra concert and an art show, and we had a Chato booster meeting, so we're not done quite yet for the year, so we still have a lot of things going on. Thank you, guys. Sit down. That's it from the fine arts world. Any questions or concerns that I can help you with?
I just want to say, what I said about the athletics. Any of the extracurricular activities that these kids have to learn a work ethic and teamwork and perseverance and grit and all those things. It's evident in these programs. I guess the Chatos, it's been a tag-along experience for me with the band the last several years, 7 years with both girls, but it has been a fun ride. Miss Leupold, obviously my kids went through her program at Heritage, and then to see them tonight, it's amazing. You do a great job year in and year out. All our teachers do. But just again, I appreciate all the extra effort and the hours that you put in above and beyond every day to see that our kids are well-rounded and contributing and learn the valuable things that are going to serve them the rest of their life. So thank you all for your efforts.
I did forget one individual, and I do want to recognize her. It's Miss Marilyn Newman, who is the final. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Board will move on to our budget finance update. Thank you all. This is where they get the depressing news.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. Tonight I will be presenting the financial update for LaPorte ISD. It's not going to be quite as entertaining as athletics and fine arts, so please forgive me, but I'm going to do my best, okay?
I'm going to start bringing cupcakes or something.
I need to do something, right? I know. I'll try. I'll think of that. So this presentation, we're going to focus on a couple of topics here. So state funding overview, the historical information for LaPorte ISD. We're also going to discuss our fiscal year 2025 general fund estimated ending balance and next steps that we can expect, and then any questions that y'all might have. But of course, if there's any questions come up throughout, please let me have it. In the nicest way possible. So what you'll see in front of you is our fiscal budget timeline. So I kind of revamped the one I had been giving you for the past couple years to make it a little bit flashier. So as you notice, there's 3 colors on here. So we've got, and they represent the 3 fiscal years that we deal with throughout one year. So if we start in January, the orange is fiscal year 26, which is what we are going to be budgeting for, and we will be discussing that at our budget workshop on next Tuesday. We are just finalized 2024 fiscal year in March. And then the green is fiscal year 25, which is what we're in. So let's just kind of start with January. January is when the budget planning begins for our fiscal year 26. And then, like I said, in March, now we're finally finishing up the previous fiscal year. In April, we received our estimated property valuations that we used to create the budget for fiscal year 26. We are going to have our budget workshop next week. In June, we will ask the board to adopt the budget at our budget hearing. And in July, we will actually receive our certified property values for 2026. In August, we receive our maximum compressed rate from TEA. And then finally in September, then they'll actually tell us, okay, we kind of think preliminarily what this current year ended in. So the red stars are in July and August. There are 4 things that we use to create the budget. It's our student enrollment and ADA, how often we think that they're going to come to school, our property valuations, and our tax rate. So 2 of those we don't have until after. We have to, by law, create the budget. And have you adopt the budget, because if the board does not adopt the budget, we cannot write a payroll. We can't spend a dime starting July 1st. So how are districts funded? This is I kind of took a slide that I'd seen somewhere else and made it, added some more to it, so it spells, it tells you a story. So you see 2 different types of cups here, and the size of your cup, state of Texas, they decide how big your cup is depending on how many kids are enrolled, right? So the more kids you have, the bigger your cup. But and if you have a bigger cup, then you get to keep more of your tax rate and you get to keep more of your state funding. So what fills up that cup is they take all your local property tax, and then they say, okay, if you haven't met that amount for the amount that we have calculated you should get for your size district, we're going to give you some state funding. So if your property revenue goes up, your state funding goes down. You get less of it because you're filling your cup up with your tax revenue. But if your tax revenue goes down, you're going to get more of your state revenue to make you whole. So whenever we talk about like keeping you whole, that's really what it is. It's between these 2 buckets of money that the state says that you get, or that we get, or any district gets, and it's dependent on the not just the enrollment. It's depending on how many kids actually come to school. So that's why. When we speak of ADA, the average daily attendance, we're actually not going to know what that is until the end of the year. So as we go through, every 6 weeks we take, okay, this is what we are now. But at the beginning of the year you have higher attendance because everyone's excited about going to school, and then you get closer to the end of the year and your attendance kind of drops a little bit. So it averages it out over the year. Is there any questions about how? I'm sure there's. Yeah.
I have some comments.
Might some comments, okay. So what happens when that glass gets too full? So we know this well, it's recapture. So when the glass, if it stays the same size, but your property revenue is more than the state says you need, then we have to give it back to the state. So in the past 15 years, LaPorte has paid over $457 million back to the state in recapture. And that is supposed to be then given out to districts who aren't as property wealthy as we are, but we don't really know what happens to them. So we'll just say that. So it goes into a big pile and it gets divvies out, but
it creates a surplus.
It creates billions and billions of dollars of surplus. So our current, this is for fiscal year 2025. That's what we're going to talk about. So our current tax rate.
Stacy, I'm sorry. Let me stop you. that previous slide, I just
sir.
want to draw attention to that 457 number. That's at least 3 years of our operational budget, correct?
It's more. It's more than our, yeah. It's going to be about 4 years.
Okay, just wanted to acknowledge that.
Okay.
I just want to acknowledge that I've been on this board 15 years, so that really hits home.
You wasteful.
I'm so mad.
Giving it away for a long
Sorry.
time, too.
Yes, it's been more than 15
Oh, yeah.
years. I just took the past 15 years, yeah.
Yeah, that would have that really hurts.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry?
94, right?
Yes. That's when it started, yes. So our current tax rate is less than $1. It's 0.9739, so we have the two buckets. Again, we talk about the buckets and the glasses. So the buckets, there's two rates that make up our current tax rates. You have your maintenance operations, which is, that's our daily bills. How we pay our people, how we pay for the lights, pay for the buildings, pay for the maintenance, pay for everything like that. That is 0.7220. And then our interest and sinking is what we pay our bond debt. So that's paying our loans back. And the two cannot mix. So they are two separate buckets at all times. Kept completely separate in separate funds. So that tax rate is 0.2519. So as we go through, we're going to kind of focus in on a little bit on the M&O tax rate. And these are slides that I'm sure you've seen, we presented before, but it's always a refresher as we go into the budget bill to time. So the state they say, okay, here is how much your M&O tax rate is. Again, this is your maintenance and operations tax rate. So they have it in different tiers. So your tier 1, they tell us, this is what they give us, that maximum compressed rate. They tell us that in August. And that's based on what our property values are that we got in July, plus what they think our student count is going to be, our ADA. So they do a calculation and they say, okay, LaPorte, your maximum tax rate is 0.6420, and we're going to take recapture out of that. And then they go to, okay, but we're going to give you these golden pennies, which is what we call tier 2, and none of these pennies are part of recapture. So the first 4 pennies we automatically every district gets. Then you can get another penny, so that's your 5 pennies that the board voted upon many years ago that we can have that extra penny. Then you get into, okay, well, you've got 12 more pennies. And so to get those 12 pennies, you can either do a disaster rate if you qualify for a disaster rate, or you have to hold a VATRE, which is a tax rate election, to get those 12 pennies. And so when you add all of those up, you get what your M&O tax rate is. So only the 3 pennies that are in the blue there that are part of the either disaster or part of the VATR, those are not subject to recapture, but the last 9 are. So where do we stand in comparison with our tax rate to our surrounding districts? So we have the second lowest tax rate. Clear Creek is just a tiny bit lower than we are, and then Crosby is about 30 cents more. So, this is kind of where we fall out. The blue is the M&O piece. The orange is your INS piece, which is to pay back the loan, and then in total, the gray, it tells you how much the tax rates are. So historically, we're just going to look at LaPorte ISD here. Historically, our tax rate, I went back from 2018, 2019, so that's fiscal year 2019. We started at, we had a tax rate of $1.38, and now for the past 2 years, we've had a tax rate at 0.9739. So, real quick. So that's a decrease of 40 cents since 2019 of our tax rate. As you'll see too, you'll see a big drop off here between 2023 and 24, where you had $1.25 down to the 0.97 cents. That is the year that we no longer had a disaster rate that we could use, and it's also the year that the state compressed our MCR by 10 cents. So we lost 28 cents in that 1 year. So our average daily attendance is another historical fact that we'll look at here. Again, this is going back to 21, that's the COVID year, then kind of going up. Now this is average daily attendance, this is non-enrollment. So as we stand right now for 24-25, we have an estimated average daily attendance of 6,435. We have an enrollment right around 7,100. So if we were funded on enrollment, which that is not going anywhere, that died very quickly, that bill died. But if in a perfect world we were, because we have to staff for full enrollment, we have to, we have buildings for full enrollment. If we were paid for the 7,100 that we are required to offer, a place for, that's $6.8 million that we would have. So our property valuation is another factor that we talked about. So as you can see from fiscal year 21, it was $11 billion. Now we're at 14.7. Now this is the property tax value. This is called their T2 value that our comptroller gives us. So what does that take? It takes what our actual property valuation is, and it decreases out any of the homestead exemptions. So our property valuation is really $15.1 billion, but for 24-25, it's when you take out the homestead exemptions, we are going to be able to have tax revenue based off of 14.7. And as you'll see from 23-24, it was 13.6, and then in 1 year it increased to a whole $1 billion, and that is all industry. I mean, it's very little, homes. So let's talk about where we think we might end up for fiscal year 2025. I know we're all excited to get to this slide. And it is better than what we imagined. Again, it always seems to be better than we always imagined because of the estimates of what we have to deal with. And I'm going to talk about that. But before I go through the reasons of the deficit change, I kind of wanted to go through the table with you. So our amended budget, we thought, okay, we're going to get $106 million. And we thought our expenses would be about $94 million. And our recapture payment would be $26 million. So if you add the 94 to the 26, you get total expenses of $120 million. So 106 of revenue minus 120 of expenses, that's a decrease of $14 million. And you'll remember too that what y'all adopted last June was actually $12.6 million deficit. But in October, we had to bring a budget amendment to you and actually decrease what we thought our revenue was going to get because our Chapter 313 payments change every year, and they give us the estimate in May, but we don't get the actuals until the fall. So we realized, okay, that's what our consultant said we're going to get. And again, this is all based on, those contracts are change every year depending on so many factors. And so it's really hard to pigeonhole exactly what it is. So that's why it jumped up to 14 million of a deficit. So our fund balance, the ending fund balance was 61 million, so that would have left us at 47 million. So what we are estimated to, what we think we are going to get, or what we have already received, what we've already received on the revenue piece, 117 million. Now that's because of that $1 million jump from 23-24. Because again, we budget on what we know in April, which is that around the 13, and then it ended up being a whole $1 million more. So that means we got so much more revenue, $11 million more in revenue. So our expenses is at 89 right now. That's estimated with where we think we're going to end up with payroll, where we think we are going to end up with our non-payroll expenditures. But again, we won't really know that until we're done June 30th. So we've still got a couple of, a month and a half to really kind of work that. We're hoping it's going to be that, but we're going to wait and see. So since our revenue increased, our tax revenue increased, your recapture increases also. So instead of 26 million, we're expected to pay 35 million. So your 89 million of expenses plus your 35 of recapture will give you your total expenses of 125 million. So that's just a $7 million change. So we are actually, instead of a $14 million deficit, we're looking estimated to be a $7 million deficit, which would put our ending fund balance at $54 million. In 150 days, as we know, we like to keep 150 days, as it would be 51, so we would still be in the realm, above the realm. Are there any questions on this before I move on? Okay. So next steps, May 20th, we're going to have a board workshop, which will discuss our compensation options, and we'll give you a look at what we think that our fiscal year 2026 budget will be.
And what we believe the legislature will have done by that time.
We're hoping, we're hoping. We will budget on current law, which is what we have right now. And understanding that we will amend it depending on whatever, because as we go through the next steps here, June 2nd is the end of the 89th legislative session. June 10th, we will have the board, the public hearing for discuss the budget tax rate. And then June 22nd is actually the last day that Governor Abbott can approve and make bills into law. So that's going to be after we approve the board, ask you to approve the budget. And then July 1st, we start fiscal year 2026. Are there any questions that I can answer for anybody?
Question is on the INS. Go back to like the 14 bond. I know we started at a rate, I don't know what it was. It was pretty high and it kind of came down.
It did.
This is a silly question, but do we have any flexibility on the maximum capacity of our INS rate currently? I know we can't do much with the M&O, but INS, could we in theory raise that number if we sort of wanted to?
Okay, so yes and no. So yes, you can raise it up to it. And remember that we went to the board when we asked to pass this bond, the 2023 bond. We were at the 0.2819, and we told them we could pay for this bond without raising it. So really the cap, because of the promises that we've made to the community, is at 0.2819. You can make it whatever you need. There is a calculation that we have to go through because we know what our bond payments are going to be, and we need to be able to raise enough money through, because INS is not subject to recapture. So whatever we get from that, we can keep it. There are also rules with the comptroller, because we have to do a truth in taxation worksheet, and that's posted on our website and goes to the state, that says that you can only raise, you can only put an INS tax rate, right? Because they don't want you to pad your and overtax.
I guess what gets convoluted to me is that for them to have a lot of money on the books from the 14 bond, right? So
No, it's done.
All of it's
done. Yes. We spent it down. We spent that before we spent the 2023, which gives us a little.
While you were on the board, we still have funding.
No, but like the debt wise, like we still own that, right?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I thought you meant funding. Like yes, we still we
own that, but
we owe it.
The rate
Yes.
in 14 was much higher than the current bond we didn't raise it, right? So there is, not that we ever do this, but you could technically.
Well, you can't, because there's a calculation of what. When a bond is sold, when we go to the state, it says, okay, it already has out, here's all the payments that you're going to make. And so it lays it out. And what's in my head right now is when Doug Wick comes and talks to us and he shows you the payments, and then it kind of goes down. And I can send that to you, the last one. Yeah. So that's already built in. When we sell a bond, we know, okay, this is the tax rate we need to be able to pay for all of this through the life of that bond.
Setting your car payment or your mortgage payment for 30 years or whatever.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
And there are bills out there right now that say, okay, that hopefully they're not going to go anywhere. I'm not really sure if they left the state or the Senate or the House yet, but that state. What they want to do is to say, okay, you can only make your INS rate exactly what you need to pay your bills, versus building your fund balance up a little bit to be able, because they don't want us to be able to pay the early redemptions. You know, we've paid over $32 million and saved the tax. Yeah, they don't. That doesn't play into their narrative, and so they don't really want us to do that.
That was going to be my question.
In the past, when we have paid bonds off earlier, we doing that out of
Fund balance. Out of
Fund
our
balance.
INS fund balance, yes.
and we're just looking at when interest rates are at a certain point to be able to pay those off early and save. Okay, just making sure.
Well, I mean, because we use, as you can see, from 23 to 24, from this year, from 24, 25, our INS rate, actually, I apologize, this is wrong in here, it's .2519, not 2819. So
Okay.
cross that out. Remember, we were able to maneuver our INS rate to be able to do that 3-cent disaster rate.
Yes.
To keep our tax rate the same.
To get the same.
Yes. And we were able to do that, but in 26, we will need to add a penny back and then add a penny back because our payment plan is to pay off.
Yes.
At the 28.
And the goal of the redemption, paying them off and taking advantage of the lower tax rates is just like we were able to do in 23. When we were able to call for that bond and not raise the tax rate, it was because this district, even prior to me coming here, had already paid down so many bonds. You had the room
We
to
had
do
the
that.
capacity.
And
Yes,
so
sir.
we're trying to protect the future when we're not here and on the board, those things. The next level of administrators can do the same because we've been really, really conservative on paying it down so that you have the way to do that and the room to do that down the road.
So I applaud you guys on, obviously, nobody wants to take a deficit, but 7 million is a lot better than 14. But my hope is you guys all, some magical fairy dust always happens where it ends up better even than the estimate, right? So is there a chance? I know you can't tell me definitely.
I would love to be able to
A
tell
couple
you.
years ago, we had an overpayment on the recapture and got $5 million back. Is that a possibility
It was,
again?
it was because our property valuation changed, and so we had overpaid recapture based on the property valuation that was there, but we did an audit for our property valuation, and they came back and said, oh no, like what they said you were going to get in valuation versus what you did was off, and that was about, $3 million.
So I'm looking back at your slide, the estimated budget millions. And we had a increase in our estimated revenue to 117, so that's plus 11 million.
Yes.
But we net 2 million because recapture got 9 of it.
Right.
And that would have been the balance to run us a balanced budget.
And if I'm
been.
correct, you said that.
And that's because, I'm sorry,
It was because of industry though, right?
It is.
That increase was industry, it wasn't because of the homestead.
No, it was not. We were held harmless from the homestead. So that goes to this slide where if you have, if you have less, your cup is this size, but if you have less property valuation, they're going to give you more state. So that's how they hold you harmless.
Again, the narrative with the increase in property values, the school districts net more money. That's not true. And it's definitely not to the scale that others want you to believe. At the end of the day,
it's not true.
We could have run a balanced budget and been,
It would have been a lot closer. Yes, sir.
very close.
It would have been a lot closer, yes.
Okay, thank you. That's
Okay. Anything else I can help you out with?
We'll be able to bring you more information at the workshop as well. Hopefully some things will have shifted.
I know we make a lot of comments tongue in cheek, but obviously it's a very sensitive deal, and there are some viable solutions out there, and we just need them to be acted upon so we can do what we need to do to take care of our kids. And it's so frustrating. But thank you for the report. Board will go to item 9, our consent agenda. The board will now proceed to our consent agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified within this consent agenda will be acted on at one time. A, determine and approve any consent agenda items. B, approve board meeting minutes. 1, regular board meeting minutes, April 8, 2025. 2, called board meeting minutes, April 22nd, 2025. Special board training meeting minutes, April 29th, 2025. C, receive principals report. 1, Early Childhood Center. 2, Bayshore Elementary. 3, College Park Elementary. 4, Heritage Elementary. 5, Jenny Reed Elementary. 6, LaPorte Elementary. 7, Rizzuto Elementary. 8, Lomax Elementary. 9, Baker 6th grade campus. 10, LaPorte Junior High. 11, Lomax Junior High. 12, LaPorte High School. 13, DeWalt High School. D, notice of employment of professional staff. E, receive financial reports March 2025. F, receive human resources report. G, receive quarterly investment report. H, approve 2025-2026 certification and provision of instructional materials. I, approve 2025-2026 Harris County Department of Education interlocal agreement of academic behavior school, ABS East. J, approve 2025-2026 Harris County Department of Education interlocal agreement for High Point School East. K, approve optional flexible school day program OFSDP application for the Academy of DeWalt High School. L, approve proposal and purchase of E-rate switches and wireless access points. M, approve proposals for supplemental I'm tired. Professional development, consultants, and related services and materials. N, approve purchase of Cisco Flex subscription. O, approve purchase of iPads and related products. P, approve purchase of Thank you. Removed. Q, adopt a resolution number 2025-05 for schools and libraries universal services, E-rate for 2025-2026. Vice President Martin, will you please read back our consent agenda?
Mr. President, we have items A for approval A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, and Q.
All right. I seek a motion to approve our consent agenda.
So moved.
Seek a second.
Second.
All right. Call for the vote.
Oh, here.
All right. Let the record show is unanimous.
Let the record show we all voted with our new gadget.
Yeah. So we'll now move on to item 10, action on closed session items. We do not have any action items. 11, closing comments of the Board of Trustees and Superintendent. Who would like the floor?
I'll start. It's been a long day, been a long year. Good luck the next 2.5 weeks. It's going to be hard, but y'all can. I'm glad I only got a week. We're done next week, so y'all got a whole nother week than I do. Looking more forward to tomorrow and getting out there to Bulldog Stadium, seeing what's going to happen out there. It's going to be a beautiful day.
So this time of year it gets really busy, like so much going on, and I just want to give Dr. Jackson kudos on keeping up with all of the things on the schedule because he's everywhere. We get invited to a lot of stuff, and it's hard for us to make everything as the board, but he's at so much. So I just want to say, like, I don't know, does he teleport or something? There's bound to be some magic to it, but he's everywhere, and I appreciate that so much because our students see it and they appreciate it, and I know our staff sees it, and hopefully they, get that same sense of support that, he's putting out there. So thank you so much for doing that and being everywhere. But we wouldn't feel so busy if there weren't so many amazing things to celebrate. That's true. So when we look at our calendars and say, it's not a lot going on, I also feel very blessed and very fortunate to be in this district and to be where we are, not only on the board, but as a parent. My kids got to participate in lots of things the last few weeks. I do have to give kudos to that Baker band for that sweepstakes. That was exciting, and my daughter's never been interested in an instrument before, so they've worked magic over there. I would like to do, he said, putting them all together in one place, and we're like, okay, let's see what y'all can do. It really, truly is amazing to see what they do. But all of our programs, just all the extracurricular, all of the academics, everything, like, it's all been worth it for this moment, this end of the year, and the celebrations that come with it. So please truly take a moment and enjoy every bit of it, because this is all everybody's celebration. Our students, our staff, our admin, everybody has worked so hard all year for this. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to celebrating with y'all.
I would like to thank everyone, all the schools, the school district. So a couple years ago, we started listening to ISD as a presenting sponsor with us for the Silver Beach Festival. The schools do so much, the parade, pageant. I mean, there's so many things that go into that, and so we're so blessed that you allow us to use your facilities and you guys come out. It's awesome to see all the kids and people participate in that parade. So, and I know it's a lot of work to make that happen. So we are so thankful for all those that help to put that together. So thank you. It's probably one of the best Silver Beach. I've been a part of putting that on for the last 16 years, and it's by far the best one we've had. And so God is good. We think almost 30,000 people come through the gate, and no major injuries or incidents. A couple little skirmishes, but nothing crazy with that amount of people. So God is good, and we just can thank you, Dr. Jackson, and your team for helping us to put that on. Melissa, to your point, we've had so many things going on. Last week we had the chance to go to the wrap-up meeting for the Helps Mentoring. And it was really cool to see all the different mentors and people that are pouring back into our kids on a weekly basis. And what gave me the most joy is that, like, it's not just Helps. There's so many different clubs and things that have happened in the last couple of years under your watch, Dr. Jackson, for kind of embracing our community. We have so many businesses and retired teachers and people that want to pour back into these kids, and you've allowed that to happen. So, and I really truly believe that it's bearing fruit for the better with our kids. And I'll say this as a LaPorte graduate, right? I grew up. Well, Clear Lake was always better than LaPorte. Deer Park's always better than LaPorte. That's all we ever heard, right? And it's part of the reason I wanted to be on the school board, because I'm competitive and I got sick and tired of hearing it. But it feels like for the first time ever, like quite literally, at least in my lifetime, like people are there's like a buzz around LaPorte. Like we talked about the athletics and the fine arts, but I mean it's kind of across like I hear so many positive things. It's evidenced by the talent and the people that are joining us on your team, and I hear from parents. And so again, a kudos to everybody. Every teacher and every administrator for helping us to change that culture, because I absolutely, again, I work at the Chamber of Commerce, but we're hearing it, like what's going on in LaPorte. So it's been a really cool thing to be a small part of. So thank you guys for that.
Now go ahead, y'all get ready.
First, I want to say the Heritage Choir tonight just blew me away with that. So kudos to them. And I'm going to file my next comment under outstanding performance by district staff. Here we go. I wrote it down so I wouldn't misspeak. Let me turn my microphone on. Our state legislature has exactly 19 days left in session, and public education funding is stalled in the Texas Senate. Our lawmakers made vouchers a priority, spending countless hours on a program that benefits only 100,000 students throughout the state. Meanwhile, 5.5 million public school students and over 400,000 public school educators are still waiting. Districts across the state are working on next year's budget. Many are forced with tough decisions to suspend programs, lay off teachers, or close campuses. Yet we wait on our legislature to perform their constitutional duty to fund public education. I urge everyone in this room and everyone listening to contact your senators via phone and email and implore them to hear House Bill 2 on the Senate floor. If you need help finding out how to reach your senator, you may email me at thompsond@lpis. No, you may not. I will tell you my Yahoo email personally, and I will tell you there, because I cannot election there. Well, not everybody, though. Pretty much. Depends on where everybody lives. Pretty much. So if you need help figuring out who that is, or a phone number or an email address, I personally will help you do so, because they need to be inundated from educators that we are tired of waiting. That's as nice as I can say that. I'm off my soapbox.
Well, Jeff stole some of my thunder, but you know, for the longest time I used to always hear my mother say, we are the best kept secret in the area when we talk about LaPorte ISD. And as a teacher, I used to stand in class and hear my kids say, we're not as good as. So many years, and Alicia, you know, we've heard it. And of anybody that worked at the high school, there were so many years in there where our kids believed they were not as good as. And I am so excited now because I can see it. I see it in the kids. I see it in the classroom. I mean, my own kids, and I was so proud this past week looking on Facebook and seeing all of the amazing LaPorte High School graduates that are graduating from universities all across the country with amazing degrees, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and then just today looking at all these Teachers of the Year that were LaPorte ISD students. And so I'm just so excited, Dr. Jackson, because you took that best kept secret and made sure that everybody knows about it. And I'm going to tell you right now, they don't like it. LaPorte's not supposed to have nice things, and those kids are just not as good as ours, and now they're starting to realize that is all false. And so all of you out here have made that happen, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it, and let's keep up the good work so our kids know that every day is a great day to be a Bulldog, and they need to be proud of it for the rest of their lives.
I didn't know we were going to church. Y'all know me. I get labeled a homer all the time, and I sound like a broken record, but it does not make it any less sincere. It truly is remarkable when you walk on the campus. It's undeniable. I mean, you see it. I mean, the Helps Mentoring, obviously, that is a great program. It's a great window into the great happenings that are going on the campus. But you see these kids light up because someone believes in them for the first time, and they start to believe in themselves for the first time. And you're having these breakthroughs every day somewhere. And I don't know if it's the social media has just brought it more to the forefront, or we're more aware of it. But when you walk around, there is a great sense of pride that has been buried for a long time. And you know, same thing as an alumni, it is refreshing, it is empowering, it is amazing to walk on our campus and walk outside of our community and hear people talk finally about what's going on here. And it is something to behold. I think tomorrow, you know, it's not just a football stadium, we keep saying that, but it's truly not. I think people are going to see that for themselves finally. I'm excited for that experience. But I think the stadium, more than anything, it's a symbol that people can finally see the things that we see inside these four walls. So to every teacher, every administrator, every person that's had a hand in our kids in raising them to be the amazing kids that they are, your break is coming. It's right there. It's real close, and I hope you truly embrace it and enjoy it, and that you're present in that refreshing. And but we truly appreciate everything that you do. It does not go unnoticed, and you truly are making a difference in this community and ultimately the state and the country. So we appreciate you immensely, and thank you.
So, just really quickly, Mr. President and board members, we're talking about the pride of the school district. We're talking about all the wonderful things that are happening. It has nothing to do with a personality. It has to do with a collective greatness that we're trying to tap into. And that does not happen unless a board decides, number one, to hire the right people, support the right people, and give them all of the things that they need to help the teachers and the principals to do the work. So the work that you're feeling, on the changes that you're feeling, and the pride and all of the things that you've just talked about, it's your civic and collective greatness and engagement. 3 years ago, this board that I'm talking to right now had the guts to call for a $235 million bond to say, we're gonna allow these folks to tear down a 65-year-old facility that everybody was emotionally attached to. That took true courage, because you had to go out and see all of your friends and everybody that you grew up with and said, yeah, I gave them permission to do that. But tomorrow we get to walk into, the future. Literally. We're walking into the future. Literally 75 years from now, most of us will not be here, but that building will still be standing. and our great-grandchildren and children will be able to say, my mom, my dad, was my granddad, my great-granddad that's his name right there, that's her name right there. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to just be a part of the greatness that's going on. It's collective greatness, it's synergy, it's us working together, not always agreeing. And Jeff, I do want to give you public, no, I'm getting ready to praise you publicly, but Jeff, I want to say, Jeff, in my opinion, Jeff Martin is our ideas guy. When there's a good idea, he will pound until we at least listen to that idea. And he's right. The whole HCA thing, Jeff brought it to my attention and said, let's get a meeting with them, Doc, and let's just talk to them and see. And so therein tonight, you heard some of that. So I won't continue, but tomorrow evening, for those that are listening and those that are here, we certainly encourage you to come out, because tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, this board that had the guts to do what they did and the fortitude to do what they did and the vision to do what they did is going to cut the ribbon on the future for LaPorte ISD in so many ways. And for that, I am so deeply indebted to you, and just I'll never forget you for allowing me to be a part of this. I'm not going anywhere, all right? But that is just something people and districts don't get to do every day. And so thank all of you for that. Karen, your mother was very vocal in my interview, and so I remember her sharing things that she wanted to see happen. Deanne, you remember that. And I'm so proud, and I know she's looking down and saying, wow, 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 wow. And so thank you, board, for all that you do. Thank you. And this is not even my evaluation. See there?
All right, with all matters